Tim, for those of you I don't know. Thank you for welcoming me. Thank you, Jeanne, for thinking of this idea. And to Matt Fritz, who's not here tonight, who remembered that I include music in my practice. I want to just invite, I'm going to say some words about sound in practice. But as I speak, I just want to invite you to start to allow yourself to enter the meditative state through these words. And while we'll be talking about a little bit of concept, as Jeanne mentioned, we're going to kind of toggle between words and sounds eventually. So just extending the invitation now to just let yourself go a little bit, trusting your ears, which are open, that can receive sound and my words without effort. Directly receiving words and lowering the filter, letting the words come in as you feel more comfortable, as you get grounded in your seat. Inviting you to feel settled in this place. In a smaller group, maybe a little more uncomfortable at first to sit up front, but a little cozy. The practice we want to share with you tonight is about sound. Our ability to receive sound and how it relates to our practice. So I want to share a few things with you about sound meditation, what sound can do for your practice. For one, there's resonance. The body in a state of its own resonance. Your own energy has a harmonic state. All beings have an energetic state. And the harmonic frequencies produced by instruments, such as singing bowls, can resonate with your body's frequencies, producing a sense of alignment and calm. There's also sensory stimulation. Just like meditating with the support of the breath, sound can be a focal point, engaging the senses in a unique way, allowing for more passive thought. There's also a neurologic response. The brain responds to the rhythmic and repetitive sounds produced by certain instruments and creates alpha brainwaves associated with relaxation and deep meditation. There can also be a parasympathetic response, where vibrations activate those parasympathetic nervous system and triggers the rest and digest response. In sound meditation, as you bring sound into your body and you start letting go of your thoughts, you may experience relaxation, sometimes a cathartic release, or when you give yourself over to the sound, you can feel an emotional or even physical release of emotions. And lastly, there's a group dynamic to sound meditation. As we all listen to the same sound, we're reminded of the frequencies that connect us.
So there's a level at which meditation is really about intimacy with ourselves. We bring ourselves in close so we can use the Brahma Viharas to heal ourselves. We then embody it so we can send it out to others. When sound is just right, we can bring it in close for its beauty and wonder. It enlarges and becomes our meditation. It meditates us. We can most easily drop our defenses to let in meditation, sound, and love. See if any of that happens for you tonight. If you do take sound or silence in more fully tonight, notice how that happens. Does the mind chatter stop? Is it like drinking water? Or lying outside on your back on a warm summer night, scanning for shooting stars? Or is it like slipping into a hot bathtub on a cold winter night? I fell in love with these two antique Tibetan bowls about 30 years ago when I was studying energy and frequencies in the body. They're made of 8 or 10 metals that match energy centers in the body. Your task is to try to open, to take in the sound. The sound will heal you where it's needed. You don't need to direct it. Listen for the overtones and undertones the different metals provide. The crystal bowl has just one frequency, but lots of clarity. It corresponds to the heart center. I'll play all 3 bowls, sometimes sitting and sometimes walking around. We rely so heavily on our minds. We forget there's experience beyond our thinking minds. Beyond, there's a field. I'll meet you there. Notice this evening if you get a glimpse of a quietness, of that ease of well-being, of that field. I've been thinking lately of the phrase, gladness of heart. We know our meditation goes further when our hearts are open. Sound can assist that happening. Then there's silence, the essential space between words, space that frames and holds the sound. I'm often sung to sleep at night by the crickets, katydids, cicadas, frogs, and then welcomed by a new set of them in the morning, joined by bird songs. I wake so grateful. Ancient Navajo used to gather to drum and chant at dawn. They believed their sound caused the sun to rise. And perhaps it did. Lama Tashi will offer us his world-class chanting here on October 17th. He was nominated for a Grammy, and wait till you hear his sound. It'll knock your socks off. At Plum Village, the Thich Nhat Hanh Center in France, when the big bell rings, people stop what they're doing, come into the present. The same happens up at Southern Dharma Retreat Center, north of Asheville. My grandmother from Norway always lived with us. I loved her voice with a sing-song cadence. She'd say, "Jeg elsker deg," which means, I love you. Our first sound was our mother's heartbeat, then lullabies. Our hearing is the last sense organ to fade as we die. That's a beautiful moment for spoken prayers, chanting, and loving kindness phrases.
Dropping the thinking mind into the body. Perceiving the body as a unified sense organ. Capable of picking up temperature, sound, vibrations. Allowing the surface of that sense organ to feel. Allowing for direct experience. Opening the ears. Relaxing the jaw. Making yourself available to what's here. What connects plants and animals and humans? Where is the connective tissue of interbeing? Imagine for a moment that it's sound. Those same sounds that we hear that connect this moment and this moment and this moment. Allowing sound means taking away the filter. The next instrument that we'll share with you is called the Shruti box. The Shruti box is a wind instrument with bellows and reeds. And it produces a drone sound, so just one note or a chord of notes, but there's no melody. And with the Shruti box, I invite you to feel the vibrations of the instrument and produce sound of your own. This is an instrument that I brought into my meditation practice to feel the connection of the breath becoming manifest as sound, as vibration, as feeling the creation in the belly manifesting. With each breath, you can produce your note. And so with the Shruti box, I'm going to start making some noise, some tones. I'll kind of tune myself with the instrument. And I'm not a singer, but one of the reasons I got the Shruti box was because it just makes one note. So as I walk around with this instrument, I'm going to pause in front of you. I'm going to give you the opportunity to make a noise. You can hum or om. You can match the frequency of the instrument. You can go above or below it. And you can hum repeatedly or when the instrument is in front of you, but it's a chance to match your sound with the sound of the instrument.
So we want to check in and see if anyone has any comments, any questions, any thoughts.
Well, thank you, Tim, and thank you, Jeanne. I can't sing at all, but now I know that we can sing as a spiritual group together. I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks so much. I've tried meditating with sound before, not having anything specifically to make noise, just listening to whatever is going on around me, and that was wonderful. Thank you. I could feel it resonating in my chest, so appreciate it.
I just wanted to say I don't really have anything to say because it really took me out of thinking and thought process into a lot of resonance in my body. And thank you.
Thank you, Jeanne and Tim. That was just wonderful. And I was reminded of why I like chanting so much. It really has that resonance thing that can take you really deep. So thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone on Zoom? Any thoughts? Any comments?
I just noticed how much the sound made it easier for me to, I just was able to focus right away without going through the usual, thinking and that I usually do for a little bit at the beginning of a meditation. And the sound focus just really helped me stay out of my mind and got me to that place of focus more quickly. Thank you.
Thank you, Barbara.
I was wanting to know more about the use of the instrument, because being on Zoom, we can't really see as well how the sound is being made.
Right, drawbacks to Zoom, yeah. Thank you, Eliza.
I got it. So the Shruti box is made out of teak wood, conventionally, and on the back and in the front there's a bellows. So it's enclosed chamber of air, and when the back pumps, the front bellow extends. There are air pathways. There's an intake on the back. And on the front, there are these little louvers. When moved, the note changes or the chord changes. In this case, if you open 3, you can make a C or a G, but you can open the various channels. There's reeds behind each one of those, a little brass reed. And when the air comes through it, you can change the note. It's not designed to be changed while you're playing it, but you can set up a note and practice harmonizing with different tones. Yes. So, like I mentioned, I'm not a singer, but I was noticing as someone, I think it was Eliza mentioned, I think it was Barbara mentioned, a directness associated with sound meditation, where you can really drop the thinking mind and open to direct experience. And I find that, especially when I'm initiating practice, if I just say, hey, thinking mind, drop into the body, I'm still kind of in a conceptual framework. But if I do something that is more physical, I can kind of drop the thinking mind a little more directly and open to the experience of making noise with my own mouth. And so what I'll typically do with the instrument at the beginning of my practice is I'll set the chord up and I'll start making a chord. And what's really helpful about the instrument as it plays, you actually feel, and sorry for those of you at home on Zoom, but you actually feel the vibrations on your chest. And so, especially for me, I have a hard time pitch matching, but you can feel the frequency. And so you really can find that resonant pitch quite easily, or a lot more easily when you can feel the instrument on your body. And something about that, the feeling, the opening of my chest, the feeling of that physical resonance and vibration with the production of sound really takes me into the body and allows for this this other opening, which I tend to be really sticky in my throat. And when I practice with chanting, especially, I really feel this connection from deep in the belly up kind of the vertical channel and out the throat. And I find, like, especially if I'm feeling a little stuck or I can't quite make decisions, sometimes opening up the throat for me and allowing that full energy to come up the center channel and come all the way out is almost creating or manifesting kind of what's inside. And so it also helps me move through whatever might be holding up my meditation and just start practice. It's almost like the clatter of the old typewriter to start writing. For me, the action of just getting right into the Shruti box, there's no thinking involved. It's just, all right, I'm going to start humming to this instrument. It's like we have a question from John on Zoom.
Yeah, thank you, Jeannie and Tim. Wonderful evening. Tim, just following up on the Shruti box, I was curious if you could say what culture it comes from and how did you personally learn about it?
Yes. So the instrument was invented in China. Well, they believe the bellows instruments came from China originally. I think there was a Danish inventor of the reed, the brass reed, which really creates that really nice tone. I think sometime in the late 1800s, early 1900s, they were taken to India, where there was more chanting culturally happening. And India is where they really became quite popular. You may be familiar with the harmonium, which is a bellows instrument with keys, which produces, basically one hand is used to pump the back of the organ, and the other hand is used to play the keys, but it's used for chanting. I also sing kirtan, which is a form of meditation, spiritual devotional practice. But I got exposed to it doing something similar to this. In town, there's a few people who do these sound baths, and you lay kind of on a carpet usually, and they'll play a number of singing bowls, and you just lay there. And the first time I did it, I was kind of like, what is this about? You know, it's kind of vulnerable. But laying there, you know, for 45 minutes while someone plays these bowls and makes these noise, by the end, I was just like on another planet. And one of the instruments that I heard there was this one, and not being particularly musically inclined, you know, setting the front up and then just doing this and making one note felt accessible to me. If you want a Shruti box, this particular one comes from MKS. It's Munaj, Kumar, Sardar, and Brothers. I think these are the best. They actually make them in Kolkata, and you can find them on Old Delhi Instruments or on, if you type in Shruti box MKS, I think these are the best. It is, Shruti is SHRUTI, and Munaj is MONOJ, Kumar, KUMAR, Sardar, SARDAR, and Brothers. I will.
So thank you. These instruments were very ethereal, spiritual, intergalactic, galactic, universal. And then I love the chatter of the air conditioner. It felt like the world, the chatter of the earth. It was like, okay, come on back. Come on back. Exactly.
So we can move into a dedication of merit. Is that good?
I'll use this. In whispers of the breeze, unity is found. Sound stories a tapestry unbound. Interwoven notes a web of life song. In each vibration, we all belong. We express a gratitude for the opportunity to practice and share the Dharma together as a group. The words serve as a reminder that we practice not only for ourselves, but for the planet, for the people, for the animals, for those that aren't here with us any longer. We dedicate this practice to all creatures. May our practice contribute to the reduction of suffering of all creatures. We express our gratitude for this community, this Sangha, this building, and for this time to share together the sacred, most primitive of technologies, the sound. We feel through the sound that we can receive it, we can create it, we are made of it. It connects us. It connects to each moment. And that there's also silence connecting each moment. Thank you all.
Thank you for being here.